How does clothing affect your child's ability to stay on task? Grandin Explains. Can clothing help your child succeed in school? Jessica Ralli from Soft Clothing is here to tell us. Chewlery and other fidgets may help your child focus in class. Lois, Brady, and Todd demonstrate. GFCF Stir Fry with Chef Tom Dickinson. You won't believe what the noodles are made out of. This and much more on this episode of Autism Today.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of Autism Today TV. I'm here with my co-host, Todd, and we're going to be talking to you again about going back to school, how to make your child feel much more comfortable in school, how to make them successful. Today we are going to be talking more about sensory needs. What does he need in the classroom to be able to sit down, focus, pay attention, and learn the lesson? First up, we're going to be talking about clothing. When you send your student to school with the proper clothing, it can actually help increase attention and focus. I know that we have a designer who makes specific clothing just for this, and it's called soft clothing. So we're going to hear from Jessica of Soft Clothing to hear what she has to say. Welcome to Autism Today TV, and we have with us Jessica Ralli, who is the founder and designer of Soft Clothing. And Soft Clothing, believe it or not, can actually help your child succeed in school. Jessica's here to explain what does that mean and how does clothing help your child succeed.
Hi, thank you for having me. Well, I like that introduction because that is really the mission of Soft, and I'm a former special education teacher. And my partner, Susie, has a nephew with autism, and so those two experiences were really like what inspired us to found Soft. And Soft is a clothing line that's adaptive, and what that means is basically it's designed with kids with skin sensitivities in mind. And sensory processing disorder is a symptom of autism. It's also a standalone diagnosis. And one of the main symptoms is hypersensitivity. And it can be to textures, it can be to food, and in our case, what we focus on is skin sensitivity and hypersensitivity clothing. And what that looked like in circle time was the kid that can't sit still, the kid that's bumping into things, it's a behavior problem, and it is a behavior issue. And I don't think it's a serious issue until it really starts to get in the way of learning and in the way of socializing. Which for the kids, that I was working with, it definitely did. And so we worked with parents and we worked with kids to come up with, what were the top things that were really irritating about clothes. And when I say really irritating, I mean irritating to a degree where it really interferes with the child's ability to sit still in class, to focus, to socialize. It's one of the things that may look like a behavior issue, but there's really a neurological thing going on behind it. And so that was sort of our mission. And I guess the top things that we heard from parents that really, really bothered their kids to the point where they didn't want to get dressed in the morning, that every time they were getting dressed it was a real struggle, were tags at the back of shirts and the back of pants. Seams, of course, most clothing has raised seams, waistbands and buttons, and zippers, and then of course the texture of fabric, itchy lace, itchy wool, all sorts of woven fabric. And then the main complaint was that there weren't enough options out there for dressy clothing or clothing that they could wear for picture day or to go to a party where they wouldn't just look like, they were wearing yoga clothes or sports clothing. They really wanted their kids to be able to be included in these community and school events, but they wanted them to be dressed appropriately, feel cool, feel included, and so that was our mission.
That's a great mission. That's a good mission. That's I can tell you from personal experience that sitting there watching a kid wiggle in their tight jeans for half an hour, your therapy session is gone. So I'm really glad to find this alternative that not only is wonderful for our kids and helps them focus, but looks really, really cute. Some of your designs are just adorable. I really like them. Not only will students with special needs like them because of the way they feel, but I can see all kids really enjoying these fashions. They're very cute.
Some things just felt like sandpaper to me in my clothes. And I put this picture up here just to give people an idea of, what sandpaper would be like. Scratchy petticoats were like sandpaper in my underwear. How could you concentrate in school if you filled your underwear up with sandpaper? You just wouldn't be able to stand it. But that's the way a lot of clothes felt to me. And there's going to need to be some adjustments made for clothing with autistic children. They need to wear soft things against their skin. Now, that doesn't mean that they have to just wear nothing but sweatpants and T-shirts. You can get things that are better than that. But clothes are going to have to be washed in soft. Another thing is labels in the clothes bother me. I have to cut all the labels out, even now. And another problem I had is switching from one type of clothing to another, like switching from pants to a dress. It takes me up to 2 weeks to habituate to the new kind of clothing. So I just wear pants all the time. Now, my mother used to say to me, well, you can't be cold, with a skirt in the wintertime because you wore your shorts halfway into winter. Well, I wore my shorts halfway into winter because I couldn't stand the feeling of putting on the long pants. You may habituate in just, a few minutes. It takes me, quite a few days to habituate.
You also have, to go along with this, you have a book that kind of helps explain to both the children and other adults kind of what the kids are feeling. Can you talk a little bit about that book?
Well, the book was it was written by Noreen O'Sullivan, who was one of our earliest customers, and she has a daughter who has sensory processing disorder and has particular sensitivity to clothing. And the book is called "I'll Tell You Why, ... I Can't Wear Those Clothes." And it's the beginning of a series. It's going to be "I'll Tell You Why," and then it's going to go into sort of all the different symptoms of sensory processing disorder with taste and with touch and other things. But the book that's out now and available through Amazon and will be available on our website again soon is really a great tool for parents and teachers who have kids with sensory issues, either in their family, in their classroom, to explain to siblings and other kids what those children might be experiencing. It's a beautiful book that is all photographs on one page, and it's in the child's voice. And then on the other page, there's actually a blank space for kids to draw in and to sort of interpret what they are learning from the book, which I always think is a wonderful, as a teacher, a wonderful interactive tool. And kids get really involved if they can, actually write in the book and become part of the story.
Yeah, I really liked it. Last thing, Jessica, tell us, what is a trunk show? How can we put one on? And how do we get soft clothing? What is it, a catalog? Is it online? Do we call you? How do we get this wonderful clothing?
It's very easy. You just go to softclothing.net and you can purchase almost everything online. And then we also have a list of retailers so you can check and see if we're near you. We also have other online retailers that sell different kinds of clothing. We stock our basics and some of our seasonal collections, but then we have other retailers that stock our seasonal collections. Trunk shows, we have a little invitation right here.
Got it.
There we go. Trunk shows are great because we find that, our customers who are, the parents and the kids that really need us, they spread the word better than we can. And parents, believe other parents, and it's, there are a lot of support communities out there for kids with special needs, and so a lot of parents were like, how do we, we want to get your clothes and we want to spread the word with other people. So we came up with trunk shows, and basically we send you a bunch of these invitations. We should send you a trunk filled with soft clothing, so you get to feel it and you get to really, try it out on your kids, and we help you plan a show. So you basically have an event at your house. You come up with a guest list. It can be 5 people, it can be 50 people. You can invite retailers. You can have it at your, local PTA meeting. We've had people have, local nonprofit events that we incorporate auctions. We're really open, and we really work with you to make it a fun event where you learn about soft. And you also, as the host, get to make a little money. You make commission, and then everybody's shops at a discount between 15 and 30%. So.
Okay, well, we look forward to the fall fashions. And thank you, Jessica, for making our school day just a little bit easier.
Thank you for having me on the show.
Okay, thank you, Jessica. That was nice. Those were very cute. She makes them with an eye to the designer. She wants our kids to look just like every other kid, yet be very, very comfortable. Luckily, Thomas, we have brought some soft clothing here just to kind of show you what it looks like. These are the jeans, and they have wide, flat seams. And the inside seams are very flat also. So there's no buckles, no zippers, nothing for the child to fidget or play with. But they're still very cute. They have little pockets on the back. And the students can not have to worry about tags or fidgeting with these. They can sit down and pay attention.
And they look just like real jeans.
They do look like real jeans. They're really cute. The kids love them.
And I also liked how the socks, again, look like the real socks, and they have the seams, so they appear to have the seams, but you really don't.
Seams.
Yeah, you don't feel them. It's kind of, to the touch, it's immensely soft and looks very functional.
Very functional. They're very nice. Now, however, if you cannot go out and get these soft clothing, then we have some options for you. You can go, when you look for clothing for your student at school, you want to look for clothing that has no tags. So the tags in the back are probably the number one thing that bothers our students. So make sure there's no tags. They're the tags that are stamped in, kind of almost like a tattoo back there. You want to look for fabric that's very, very soft. Nothing scratchy, no lace. And the seams need to be flat and wide. The seams cannot be those sharp, kind of bumpy ones. Kind of flat and wide seams tend to work best for kids who have sensory issues. You also want no turtlenecks, nothing tight around the neck, no turtlenecks, that bothers them. Again, no lace. And logos. Logos are one thing that makes your students happy. If your student likes Thomas the Train and you want him to keep his shirt on all day, you get him a shirt with Thomas the Train on it, and it kind of helps him keep it on all day, and it makes it very successful. So those are some.
Yeah, making sure that the clothes are fitting enough, but not so tight that they're kind of restricting, and also making sure that they're not so loose that the student has to constantly pull them back up. Belts are very difficult for our children, but elastic bands that are tieable are a little bit more easier to navigate, as well as are able to work on fine motor skills such as tying. It's the same with shoes, it's the same with hats. You don't want the shoes to be so tight that they want to take them off all the time, but you want them to be fitting and able to work like Velcro shoes. If you are willing to work on shoe tying at home and at school, make sure you've got the laces again. Slip-on shoes are often easier to do. The Vans are back in style, I think, and they're slip-on.
Crocs are excellent choices. I see a lot of our students coming to school with Crocs. They're easy to put on. They're easy to take off. There's certain points in the day when they're allowed to take their shoes off, and they can do it, and Crocs are really easy as well as Vans. Very nice choices for our students, and it keeps them up with the fashion. We want our kids to look like any other kids going to school. So those are the clothing options. Some other sensory issues that we run into in school are oral motor fidgeters, the kids who pick up anything in their environment to chew on. And they may pick up something that may be toxic or not good to be putting in their mouth. So we want to send them to school with some appropriate oral motor fidgets. Thomas has brought some here. Our first guy is called Chewlery. And this is really cute. It has a band on it. Some of them you can attach to your clothing here, and some of them you can put around your neck. They are breakawayable, so if it gets caught on anything, it's not going to hurt their neck. And all they need to do is pick them up and chew on them. It's kind of cute also, so that's one option. And we have P's and Q's. These are some of the favorites. They can hold on to them and chew and be safe and not cause a lot of extra noise or extra motion in the classroom. They keep them in their pockets and they can just pull them out and chew on them. P's and Q's, really cute.
As well as the T.
The T, and this one has a little bit of extra texture. A little bit of extra texture, so it gives them a little extra sensory input as they chew it. It has bumps here and some ridges here. It's called a knobby chew toy. For some of the older kids, we recommend these pencil toppers. You can stick them right on the top of your pencil. They don't go on so well with pins, and they can bite on that in stressful times. That way they're not biting their pencils. It's an appropriate chew in the classroom. It's quiet, and it's relatively undetectable. It's just pencil toppers. Again, some of them are knobby, some of them are smooth. My favorite. I really like this one. It's a ruler. It's just a plain ruler. It's very functional. They can use it down here, and when no one's looking, they can just pick it up and bite on it a little bit. It's non-toxic, perfectly chewable, perfectly functional. Again, some of our older students pack these around, and that way they're not chewing on their regular wooden rulers and getting slivers or anything in their mouth that they shouldn't have. These are just some examples of oral motor fidgets that really help your student focus his attention. You want to try the P and Q in class?
Well, and of course, having used these for years in the classroom, the P's and Q's are really smooth, so they do really good for just the quick chewing on. But the ruler and the T has the sensory for the sort of touching chew, as well as they work better in the mouth with, again, more grips for the biting on. It's the same again with the Chewlery, because it has that same texture for I need to fidget with my hand and then I need to fidget with my mouth.
Yeah, and this one's also very portable. You can put this around their neck or on their pocket or something, and they can carry it around with them. Looks like a fashion accessory. It's very cute. So those are just some of the options, just to let you know that there's thousands of options out there. There's lots of things. Your student does not have to chew on pencils or their own fingers or papers or things that could be toxic or hurt them in any other way. Some other fidgets that we have are hand fidgets. And again, this is just a small example, but we just wanted to kind of show you a few of the hand fidgets. It's very quiet. It's not distracting to any of the other students. They can put it under their desk and fidget with it, and it keeps them calm and focused. Thomas has another one.
The classic globe. Which is so much fun, and it comes. I've played with these in a couple different sizes, and they're always squishy and fun. They come in sometimes different animal shapes, and everybody loves to play with these in the classroom. They also come with different types of textures inside, or sometimes different textures outside. And then you're playing with the other fun pencil.
I'm playing with our other fun one. It's actually like a nut and a bolt here. So on the top is a nut, and they just get to screw it all the way to the bottom and then all the way back up. Again, these things are meant to be under the table, out of the view of the other students and the teacher, just to keep hands busy. If a student brings it up on the table, starts pounding on it, then it needs to be reminded. They need to be reminded it goes under the table on their lap. Okay? So those are just some examples of all of the different kind of fidgets you can send your student to school with to keep them focused and paying attention in class, which is so very, very important. So Thomas, now I think we have one of my favorite parts of the show, Chef Tom Dickinson, our gluten-free, casein-free fusion chef.
Absolutely. You know what's neat is that he has made for us his pork lo mein stir fry, and you won't believe what the noodles are made out of.
Oh, I can't wait.
Hello, welcome today to the Living Word Fellowship. I'm here with Chef Tom Dickinson. You're going to share with us some of your culinary delights.
Absolutely. We're going to have some fun here today, and we're going to show some really great recipes that are definitely gluten and casein free and definitely family friendly.
Awesome, excellent. What's the first recipe you're going to share with us today?
The first recipe I'm going to share with you today, we're going to do a vegetable lo mein.
Ooh.
It's absolutely wonderful. It's going to be a pork vegetable lo mein. The first thing we're going to do is we're actually going to make the sauce for it. First thing we're going to do is I'm going to add a little bit of potato starch. Like some people, when they're making dishes like this, they'll use cornstarch, but I found there's a lot of kids on the autism spectrum who have allergies to corn, and I'm trying to avoid that to make it just enjoyable for everybody. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put in a little slight squeeze of fish sauce, and people are asking, fish sauce? Well, why are you using that? Why not use soy sauce? Because, well, soy sauce isn't soy-free, and fish sauce is actually a gluten-free product. So I'm gonna add just a little squeeze of fish sauce right here. So the second ingredient we're gonna be adding is some sweet chili sauce. It's gonna give a little bit of sweetness to it. And sweet chili sauce is just wonderful. You want about maybe like a quarter cup there. Next thing we're gonna add, definitely. Next thing we're gonna add, we gotta balance it out with a little bit of acid. So we're gonna add a little bit of rice wine vinegar. I mean, and this sauce, you guys, if you're watching this, you can put these ingredients into your own personal preference. Another thing that's my personal preference, and you don't have to add it yourself, I like a little bit of sriracha. I like a little bit of heat in my sauce. So we're gonna add that too. Just a little drop just to give it an underlying flavor. So we're gonna whisk this all together. And then after we whisk this all together, we are gonna actually add my last ingredient, my secret ingredient to my pork lo mein stir fry. And people don't believe it, when I add this ingredient to this dish. My last ingredient actually is apple cider. And people are like, apple cider in stir fry? Are you kidding? No, it's actually very good. Pork and fruit is a winning combination. You cannot go wrong with it. It's absolutely wonderful. So you're just gonna add a splash of that right there. Maybe about a half a cup to a cup. So we're gonna do that. We're actually gonna whisk that together. The potato starch is in there. And what the potato starch is gonna do, once this sauce hits the heat on the stove, this sauce is gonna automatically thicken up because of the starch in the potato acts as a thickener. And usually when people are thickening things, they usually use a roux, which is flour or butter. Like I said before, cornstarch, because there's some kids on the spectrum who have allergies to corn. And we're trying to eliminate that. Because I'm a personal believer, you guys, it's not about sacrificing, it's just about replacing. And we don't want to replace any flavor, so we've got that all right there. It's actually all whisked together. Our sauce is ready to go. So next we're going to go to our vegetables. We have some ginger and garlic over there in the food processor. And also for this dish, we're going to have some bok choy, which we have sliced up. I love vegetables. Vegetables are great. You know, I remember growing up, my parents always had a garden. So we're going to take our bok choy. We're going to put it over here. Definitely. And now guys, we got some orange pepper over here. I'm gonna take my bok choy here. I'm gonna put it over here. Take my red pepper. Take the ends off, because some people will cut them in half, then they'll scrape out the sides, and you just throw too much away. So what I do is cut off both sides. Take it like that. And that's all you throw away, guys. As easy as that. Everything else can be used. All you throw away is those inside guts and the stem. So what you do, take it like this, and again, cut it on the bias. Cut it nice, even strokes. So I'm just going to finish up this pepper, and then we're going to get to something really, really cool. Very, very cool, and something that just really is what inspired Affordable Eats. Some people are thinking, okay, you got all this stuff. What are you going to do? Lo mein is noodles. What are you going to do for your noodles? Well, let's show you. We are actually going to take, and I'm going to show you guys, this right here. These are my noodles. And they're like, what? So we're going to have a little fun here. This machine right here is a spiralizer. It's a beautiful piece of equipment, and it's made for just for spiralizing your food. If you're buying a bunch of gluten-free spaghetti, and you just don't even buy it at all and start cutting noodles out of daikon radish, zucchini, cucumber, within 3 months, this thing is going to pay for itself. Seriously, with the money you save from gluten-free pasta. So what we're going to do, Tom, we're actually going to load this in here. Going to load this right here. Just going to take it right here, and we're just going to slowly, and Tom, I'll let you go on the other side. And we're going to slowly bring it through on the other side. And right now, really cool. We are making noodles for our lo mein. Don't use the core. But this is really just a fun thing. And you know what? This is one of those fun things. If you take away from the sharp edges, the kids will love this. They'll absolutely go bonkers for it. It's absolutely fun. These noodles are done. Right there. And the next thing we're going to do is we are actually going to go to our pork. We have some of the pork is already sliced, ready to go. All right. So we're going to put the pork in there. And now I am going to go, sanitation first. I'm going to go wash my hands, and we are going to start firing this up. First thing you want to do, what's the longest thing that's going to take to cook? Is your pork, of course. You're going to add your pork in first. Start getting that stir fried. And as you guys see, I'm using tongs because I'm going to be reaching for the vegetables with my hands. I don't want to cross-contaminate. So we're going to add some pork in there. We're going to get it going. We're going to set the pork aside. And this is the fun part. You get to scoop it up without trying to move everything. You get to scoop it up. You get to stir it around. You get to have fun. Next thing we're going to do, we're going to infuse take that out. Our ginger and our garlic we did in the food processor. We're going to take this out. We're going to start getting that going in the pan too. I love ginger and garlic. It's a wonderful flavor base. But it's up to you. If you just want to use straight garlic, you can do that. You can use shallots. I mean, it's up to you. You should be creative with your own food.
Oh, it smells awesome.
Does this smell good? So now we're going to add our wonderful multicolored peppers here. We got orange pepper, yellow pepper, red bell pepper. Somebody's probably asking, why not add green? Green is optional too. You can do green pepper. They have so many different colors of peppers. It's absolutely wonderful. So what we're going to do is we're going to add our bok choy to that. A little bit like that. And the leaves are great. I love the leaves. I love the stems. And
you can just smell the flavor just transformed in the room.
Absolutely, absolutely. I absolutely love this. This is what makes cooking fun. I mean, and look at the colors. Look at the colors you get in there. I mean, look at the colors you're going to get. Your child is going to see those and they're going to say, "What the heck am I eating?" You're eating love right there. That's exactly what it is. This is love in a wok. Now we're going to add is our sauce. You guys remember potato starch, sweet chili sauce, rice vinegar, a little bit of sriracha, a little bit of fish sauce, and my secret ingredient, of course, the almighty apple cider. I see that my sauce is looking good. So what we're going to do is we're just going to take this, we're going to add it in there, and we're going to have some fun with it. And I'm just going to add a little bit at a time because you definitely want to start with a little bit. You don't want to drown your sauce. And as you can see, Tom, as it's going in there,
smell the transformation.
Yeah, and as you can see, as far as texture-wise, as you can see, the sauce right there is actually starting to thicken up because of the potato starch. Yeah, and what that sauce is going to do, it's actually going to glaze your meat while you're cooking it. It's going to reduce down a little bit. It's going to give some nice flavor. It's going to be absolutely wonderful. Last but certainly not least, we are going to add these beautiful, beautiful zucchini noodles. We're going to add the zucchini in. And we're going to have some more fun. Right, there we go. Just bring it together. Start tossing it around. Wow. And there you have vegetable lo mein. So now we are actually ready to plate this thing. We're going to take it like that. And nice. We're going to get a little more pork and some red peppers. We'll throw it on top. There you have it, guys. That's it.
Nice.
Pork lo mein.
So that was just really scrumptious.
Wasn't it the best?
The noodles were so neat.
They were zucchini. I couldn't believe it. When he started making the noodles from zucchini, the texture remained firm. They did not fall apart like I expected zucchini to fall apart. It's excellent, excellent substitution.
Right, and of course the zucchini when sliced makes for a great lunchbox option like carrots or apples, beef jerky, or coconut for fidget food items.
For those students who have the need to chew and bite a lot, make sure you put in plenty of very chewy, healthy snacks. Those big hard pretzels are excellent, celery, carrots, like you said, coconut, beef jerky. Put plenty of those things in their lunchbox. That gives us options besides cookies and Skittles that we can hand them, and it kind of helps relieve the need to chew so much, and again keeps them focused in the classroom.
And hydrated based upon the ones that you choose.
And hydrated. And if you use carrots, they'll see well.
Absolutely. Cherry tomatoes, you think of all the different fidget type options.
Yes. So I think that's our show for today.
Right.
We are glad you came along and hope everyone picked up a few tips and pointers and your kids get to school and have wonderful, wonderful days. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.